Well, it's a sunny day today here. Don't have no rain. It's about, I don't know, 50 degrees. But this morning, I've been listing some stuff on eBay. Went over, grabbed a seat, and I'm going to work on getting that mocked up. I went upstairs, got my radiator and my fuel cell. I'm going to start mocking this stuff up and digging around looking for a radiator mount. I found this piece of angle right here that already had two of the right size holes in it. So I'm going to cut that up and get us a bottom mount for the radiator in here. And we'll go from there. So if y'all want to follow along just on this stuff, I'll take you along for the ride today. Alright, I just come in here with those pieces I showed you after I cut them, and I welded them to the bottom of the core support down there. Our radiator's going to sit down in that. This is a Cobalt SS radiator and fan. Come from the other Metro. That's what I'm going to use in this car. Fits the hole pretty well in these. You will have to do a little trimming up here around the headlight mounts. But that's where I'm at currently. Waiting on that to cool off a little bit, and I'm going to stick that radiator back up in there and decide how I want to mount it on the top side, and we'll go from there. Quite going as I planned, so I went in here. I just put two tubes coming out of the core support. I'm going to lay this radiator flat in here. There's just not enough room with it stood up for the fuel cell and the radiator, and a place for a duct air down under the car. So when this cools off a little bit here, we'll come back and I'll show you what I'm doing. And this is kind of what I come up with. Over here, there's pieces that I made for the bottom of the core support over there. I just took and bolted a flat piece of bar right here, which just happens to be one of the old shackles off of this car that were on it when I got it back in 1993. Well, they're still there. Since we're not really worried about weight up front, these things are darn near a quarter-inch thick or bigger. Just drilling them out on one side so I fit over these little tabs here on this radiator. They're pretty close now, but they just need to be reamed out a little bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here straight with this. I'm going to bolt one of them little pieces of angle right there to that. And then I'm just going to weld to the frame rail over here. That way you can unbolt it and get the radiator out. A lot of you's probably like, well, why are you mounting the radiator flat? Well, in the LSX car, this is why I had it right here, because of the turbo. I've already got a duct built that goes on the bottom of the bumper. Should be pretty close to the same place. If not, I'll modify it. But it ducts air through the bumper insert up through the radiator, and it comes up out. I am going to have to build an upper shield for this to duct air under the car. That way it just don't blow on the fuel cell and cook the fuel in it. So, but right now that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm going to go ahead and get this other side drilled out and all mocked up here. And when I come back, I'll do a little fast forward video when I weld it in. And that's probably a good point of why I'm explaining why I decided to do this. And even on the other car, this puts weight low in the nose of the car, and that'll help. You know, remember we had this weight bias issue we're trying to get addressed here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to try to figure out where I'm going to set my fuel cell height-wise. I'd like to have it as far forward as I can get it, but obviously you don't want it, if you wreck this car, you don't want it like butted up here. It could rupture and obviously fire, but I don't want it all the way back either. So I'm going to try to find a happy median here. May have to move this master cylinder back, but I'm going to find a happy median here. Let's see if I can get that all mocked up. When I come to an important part, I'll pop right back in. Alright, I just got this thing just sitting here. It's sitting on a wood block down here. Got about 4 inches from the bottom fuel cell to the top of the fans. I'd like to have more, but we're going to kind of run into an issue with our return line and our vent fittings up here with the hood if we go any higher. Back here, I'm going to drop down with some angle iron. Well, not angle iron, but some all thread and some sleeves. I'm going to bolt the fuel cell from the bottom up. Put that bar in there. It's straight across the frame rails. We're pretty level with the car. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this other piece of angle iron I got earlier. I'm going to cut it to fit between these two frame rails up here in the front. I'm going to get that spotted in so it'll actually sit there. And we'll move on to where we're going to put the battery. Alright, the fuel cell's all mocked up. Weld that bar in. I'm going to drill 2 holes up here, bolt up here. I'm going to use a piece of all thread to drop it down in the back. That way I can adjust the tilt on it. Went out and got the battery tray out of the Pontiac. I trimmed it so it'd fit around this wheel well right here. I spot welded it in a couple spots. I just laid this piece in here just for a little support so I can mock the battery up and make sure it'll clear right here. Measurement says it will, so let's jump ahead and see if it actually does. Yeah, believe it or not, that will clear right there. As you can see, I'm trying to put all my weight as front as I can, as far forward. Pretty much, this is how the layout's going to be. Radiator's down there, fuel cell's up here, battery's going to be over there. The fuel pump filter is going to run up here. It's going to be mounted on this frame rail. There'll be a duct over the top of the fans that'll direct that air back downward. About the best I can do with that for now. Got plenty of room, like I said, for a duct and the fans up under there. So kind of a shorter video today. Unfortunately, you know, that's the way it's going to have to be on some days. So, the camera's a little shaky, but kind of got an idea of what we got going on here. And scaling this car yesterday gave me an idea where I could put the weight. And I may throw it back on the scales after I get all this stuff mocked up and bolted in. That way I can get a little better idea. But for now, that's kind of what we're shooting for. Looks like everything will work just fine. So if you like stuff like this and budget stuff, hit that subscribe button. There'll be way better videos than this. This is just kind of, I had to run some errands today and just kind of mess around out here before dinner time. So wanted to leave y'all with a video and some kind of progress. So we're going to try to get this thing done by the first of the year. So got a lot of metal work to finish up, a lot of body work to do, along with a bunch of wiring and stuff. So like, share, and subscribe to this, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.